Well, the playoffs almost here. Only 3 more rounds left to go until we hit the playoffs, and every game is going to count from here on out. The punches will keep rolling, and who's going to make it out to the top 8 or who drops down into the bottom 4? We say aloha, friends, and welcome inside of the booth alongside Nerdy Bird Clutchkey with you here to bring you 2 of the games for the Rift side. It'll be Rift taking on Good Boys and Rift taking on Timeless. And Nerdy, part of Boise State College with the esports team there, knows what it's like to be fighting for a playoff spot. So Nerdy, what is kind of the mindset that these players might be having going into these last 3 games, knowing that there's a shot at the playoffs?
Well, one of the big things is you got to make sure you keep a positive mental attitude. That's kind of an outcry of a lot of the support players that I'm very close with on the Boise side, as well as from other schools. Because if you have multiple games in a day, just like we always do here with the Contenders broadcast, and you tilt game 1 or map 1, things are going to start going downhill really fast. And then on top of that, you got to keep in mind that, you can fix mistakes, but it's important to just keep trying your hardest and do the best you can in every single instance of what's going on in the game. And beyond that, at the end of the day, even if you don't make playoffs, you need to be able to walk away from these games and know that you tried your hardest, and that the person who ends up going, you're rooting for that person, the one that knocked you out of your playoff spot or your grand final spot or semifinals, whatever it may be. You don't want to have that silver medal syndrome of, well, I lost because I didn't get first place. You still are making it really far. You're still competing in contenders, for Pete's sakes. And so you got to keep that in mind and support those players that do continue to go on. But of course, try your hardest, do the best that you can. Know that you prepped as much as you could up until this point, because of course, you gotta sleep, you gotta eat, so you can't play Overwatch 24/7, and just know that you did everything you could in your power to support your team, support yourself, and perform at the highest that you possibly could.
Yeah, they're going to have to perform the highest that they can as well, because Rift is in a little bit of a tough scenario, sitting right now at the 2-6 record they're at, but they can still get into the playoffs as we go into the standings right now. So for Rift, you can see at the bottom right now at the number 10 spot, however, not eliminated. Plenty of things to go through here as we go through our pregame. First of all, the standings, and they are eliminated if they lose the last 2 of the next 3 games. So the last 2 here need to be at least wins, and to get to the playoffs, they would need a lot to happen. They would need a win versus Timeless in either Good Boys or Dragon Dance. They'll play Good Boys here, but that game versus Timeless becomes oh so important coming up in the second game of our day today. Timeless would then also need to lose to Rift, which is again one of the games, and would need to lose to either Good Boys or Worldwide, which would then take it to map differential afterwards. Strix would also need to help them, as they would need to lose at least 2 of 3 to Amplify, Afterlife, or Worldwide, which is all of their 3 games left in their schedule. Good Boys, you can see at number 5 right now, they only need a win here. The magic number for them is 6 on the record books. If they win just 1 of their last 3, they are secured in the playoffs. They still have a shot at the number 1, but need a lot of help to do that. But again, Good Boys really only focusing right now on that 1 win to stay inside of the playoffs. As we go right now, some of the important games that are going on right now actually are going all throughout the broadcast. There are the 3 other games we'll get to later on in the broadcast as well to schedule them out. But you can see some of the important games. Rift versus Good Boys right now. If you're looking at the top of the standings, O3, Splash, and Saints are a very important game, because O3 Splash wants to stay at a 7-1 record. Saints want to try to bump out O3 Splash and have a chance at the number 1 seed as well. But Saints and O3 Splash, again, another important game where Saints can tie the record of O3 Splash, and that map differential becomes oh so important after that. Worldwide and Timeless also playing as well. Timeless needing that win. Worldwide and Dragon Dance, who's playing Afterlife, both of those games become important for Worldwide and Dragon Dance. Theoretically, they can still get in, but with a lot of help needed. However, 1 loss drops them out, and they are going to be in the bottom 4, eliminated from top 8 playoffs. Pirates and Pajamas versus Wisp, also another important game where Pirates and Pajamas 7-1 right now, looking at a very good standing with that plus 16 map differential, and would only need a couple of wins in order to get that number 1 seed. And in fact, going up against Wisp, they would need a lot of help as well. Same thing like Good Boys or the Saints if they want to make that number 1 seed. Other game as well that's important you want to watch if you're Rift, Strix versus Amplify. Again, Strix needing to lose at least 2 of their last 3, and Rift would need to win at least 2 of their last 3 as well in order to get into the playoffs. So every one of these games becomes also important depending on what your situation is. But if you're a Rift fan right now, you're looking at Rift versus Good Boys, Strix versus Amplify, and Worldwide versus Timeless. Those are the 3 games you're looking out for right now. And now we go in to the next part here, where it's actually the other streams going on. And if you want to watch some of these other games going on right now, you can watch the Contenders versus Good Boys, on the Good Boys stream. You can watch the other side of this with the other casters. In fact, you can either watch, I believe it's going to be Hyper and K-Wing at it going on right now on that, or good, actually, excuse me, Cranky Guy and FiftyFree or on that Good Boys side. Meanwhile, for Pirates and Pajama Stream, that one fight for the #1 side. Ponzi Lim and Hunter Tane with you on that broadcast. And then Contenders and Timeless will bring you Hyper and K-Wing over there on the Timeless OW schedule. But again, two of those games become also important. And right now, where you're watching the Good Boys taking on the Rift side, but for Timeless and Worldwide, another game you want to watch if you're a fan of Rift. And now we go into the head-to-head match, and this is the Rift versus Good Boys matchup that is happening right about now, and you can see their season history going on right now between both of these teams. And in fact, a lot of them long series, but for Rift, mainly it's been 3-0s and 3-1s. The only game that they have not seen a 3-0 or 3-1 on is their very first game up against Strix, and they would win that game 3-2. Other than that, a 6-game losing skid for Rift before finally getting their first 3-0 win up against Worldwide. For the Good Boys, however, have been good as of late. 5 of 6 wins here in the last 6 games. The only exception, I should say, was to Wisp at a 3-2 record. So again, lots of good things to talk about for Good Boys, but lots of pressure onto Rift right now, as again, they would need at least 2 of 3 in order to make the playoffs, and would need some help as well. Nerdy's laughing at me because I know I'm putting the pressure on, but at the same time, that's the facts right now. And you look at the schedule, Rift needs a lot of help to do so, but the pressure is on both of these teams, knowing that for the Good Boys, at least 1 win gets them in. Rift needing 2 of their next 3, and some help to get in as well. I mean, yes, I'm putting the pressure on Nerdy, but again, facts are facts.
Yes, but hear me out. They're gonna need some help. Is literally, they need certain teams to lose, and that is the form of help that they are requesting. So that also is making me giggles, because it's like, are we talking like insider trading right now, or like maybe someone's like, hey, so I know those teams you're going up for are looking pretty scary. If you don't want to try too hard, I'd really appreciate it. I might send you some chocolate in return. Like, that's all that goes through in my mind, because, you know, it's not help. It's I'm praying that team loses so my team can make it on to playoffs. But I mean, that's just the name of the game at the end of this. Like, a lot of it comes down to the numbers after, you know, the matches are completed, and the map differentials are important. But, you know, if one of the teams can get a huge upset that was sort of gatekeeping Strix from making it into the playoffs, that'd be huge for them. However, the odds of that happening, not really favoring the Strix in that instance, and not favoring some of these other teams as well, because as the season has progressed, a lot of these teams are really firmly establishing themselves as, you know, being that top echelon. Those top 4 probably not moving too much. We might see one drop from first place to second, but that's probably gonna be about it.
Yeah, and again, help is just the standard word, but I mean, there's going to be a lot to do here, especially for Rift. Again, needing at least 2 out of 3 wins, but that's not the only thing they got to worry about. But first and foremost, they got to worry about this game. And the very first map we are headed to in round number 9, already predetermined. If you don't know, round number 9 is headed off to Oasis. So, I mean, we've only seen Oasis, at least for Rift. They haven't seen, and from the data we have not seen Oasis yet, although if you take a look at the map pool, we've seen it once before, so plenty of times to see Oasis. The only other time I believe we've seen it maybe was round number 6, or maybe not even that, excuse me. So, I mean, maybe we really haven't seen Oasis in the meanwhile, but Oasis is an interesting map, and actually we're going to see City Center first.
All right. I personally, out of the 3 Oasis sub-maps that we can choose from to start off on, I enjoy City Center. It allows for a little bit more creativity. You can't force a brawl on this map. Not saying a lot of teams want to. That means you're basically going to go forward, maybe TP out of spawn, go towards the side with all of the cars, and just wait for the other team to come into you. It actually looks like Good Boys are going to be going with a Wrecking Ball dive. Typically, this style you'll see a Winston instead of the Wrecking Ball. Salty, I'm not believing that Doomfist pick 1 for 1 minute. And then you have Sombra Tracer with the Winston. And it looks like Salty's actually going to possibly stay on JQ. Yeah, it looks like they're going to go JQ instead. Whereas the other side, we've got that Winston coming out. Ten's going to swap over to Tracer after getting this in TP out of spawn. We have Echo. And then, of course, the dynamic duo of Brigitte and Ana for... Whoa. What? Okay, we are pausing. Yep. Technical difficulties, they happen. But other than that, we've got the Brig-Ana combo, which is like Brig's kind of babysitting. And you got to pray that your Ana's telling you where they're moving, and your Ana doesn't give up locations too easily, and isn't just hard scoping and leaves you for dead when someone comes on the flank. And that means that Brig, your job is to basically force out flankers before you're allowed to have any sort of fun. Whereas Lucio Moira just get to be going in and out with their tank as they please, and the name of the game is survivability.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that Junker Queen's also going to be a lot of trouble, if you will, as well, if there's no key to go over there. So that Junker Queen's going to be pretty interesting, but you have that Winston to kind of get you up on the high ground as well. So plenty of interesting tactics. I mean, we've seen the Junker Queen versus the Winston. If you've seen a lot of the Overwatch League lately, yeah, the Valiant decides to run this this Junker Queen combination. It works out interestingly well for them sometimes, but it depends on the matchup that they have. But anyways, we go into the match right now. It's 8 seconds left until the point unlocks, and this Echo causing them a lot of trouble. Chime already up to 25%. X10's already up to 45% along the way onto the ultimate. Already using that focus beam to take down Salty. Fall below Abyss there with a bio-nade to finish him off right away. And that's going to be looking like a tank versus tank win, but the trade-off for Abyss with the orb, rather, should say, gets off some damage. Thunder almost falling way so low, but it's the first flip to Rift for right now, but the fight continues on. As really, they're going to really try to challenge this really with no tank, but Chime almost has a duplicate. Could use this in the very first fight available to them. It's hacked out, but Chime falls low. Good healing to keep him up. Extend has the Pulse Bomb available. Rift also having that rally available to them. Yamitra gets one very early on before any of the other supports can even get close to one. And right now, they're just pushing him along the way, and there's really no entry points whatsoever for Good Boys to play. They'll back off for right now from the looks of it.
Good Boys losing out on their JQ very early isn't too bad when you've got such high survivability for your team. I mean, they went largely unpunished after losing that JQ. It's just unfortunate that they'll lose JQ and then Thundra, kind of that force that can pepper out the Winston and prevent Winston from finding a whole lot of value on the backline. Chime, though, getting that copy so early, it kind of just goes to show that when you're not running someone who's designated on just harassing Echo, how much value that Echo will find. We're coming up on EMP as well as Beat coming out for Good Boys, and Death Blossom soon to follow. Other than that, as far as Rift, we saw the copy come out. We saw the very early rally, as you mentioned. But now we've got Nano and we've got Winston ultimate. So we can just see a Nano Winston to clutch a fight. Maybe follow up with X10 in mid-fight, getting Pulse Bomb, landing on someone, and hanging on to Primal for another fight. We'll have to wait and see what the combo is here. But Rift cannot sit back on their heels, considering the ult advantage that Good Boys are starting out this neutral phase in.
EMP comes out. That's going to hit at least Astro, who goes down right away. Good follow-up from the rest of the team. Going to be one more ultimate left to go on the Good Boys side. That is Sound Barrier. Rift wants to hold this on at least to 99, or unless Astro can come back, has that Primal Reach available to do so. Abyss losing the Nano Boost in the process as well, down to 88% and rolling here. Death Blossom available for Thunder, but has really no way to use it. Salty does get the knife kill onto X10, just bleeds away the Tracer, which is big for you right now. And it's just time, again, just doing so much pressure. They finally flip for Good Boys. And it might still not be enough, but Noctis taking down Yamitra probably will be a sign that that is going to be a fight win here, as Rift just really has no entry points with that Brigida, and there goes the Abyss as well. So, yep, Good Boys holding on.
Good Boys is holding on, but they've got a 2% area of leeway or fail, so to speak, because Rift just has to get in and control the point. Yes, survivability composition is the name of the game for Good Boys, but if you lose your tank, your ability to hold forward and hold space goes down a lot. It becomes a lot of touch and go on point.
Oh.
We do see Sticky goes off, but people manage to survive, so there is an ultimate that I think possibly only one or two, not even, I don't even believe a cooldown was used. I'm pretty sure it was stuck on Ramitra's shield and they just dropped it. Queen's gonna come in, looks for ult. As you mentioned earlier, there's no key code to counter the JQ ult, and we have Noctis in return to that Echo ultimate coming in, dropping the beat. Salty still hanging on to Rampage. Could Rampage follow up with the Moira ult and just eviscerate everybody? But there is the copy ultimate. And no, that was Salty's, and it looks like Abyss will go down, Chime will go down. We lost Biz for Good Boys, but that's a 2-for-1 trade, and that's a combo that Good Boys were looking for.
A good combo for Good Boys there, but Good Boys now having nothing on the board besides an EMP coming up to them. Astro's going to go right back into the spawn to heal up the rest, and Astro having that Primal Rage available to them. Abyss also will have an Nano Boost available to them, but for Rift, I mean, had 98%, but they've given up 77 straight so far. No flips just yet. Rift needs to find an answer. Good Boys only having one answer with an EMP available to them. We'll decide if Biz wants to use it, or when Biz wants to use it, I should say. But fly up right now, so you can see Chime doing oh so much damage. Rift in the back line, and there goes the EMP. Abyss is able to use the Nano Boost before dying with that EMP, and that EMP, and rather that Nano Boost is able to go on to Astro, who's found a few picks. Chime is in your back line as well. Watch out. 2 kills, 3 kills for the Echo. Chime is going off on fire as well. Make it 4 for Chime, and Rift is going to take this one easily in the final fight, 100 to 99. But my, oh my, what a play from Chime at the end.
Okay, so we are at 0 and 99, and then people stumble. You know, the ult economy is not in your favor. You kind of thought you had it in the bag at that 99% mark. We did see a nano get whiffed. It happens to everybody, but to go from 0 and 99 to 99 and 99 just shows how close these teams are, but it can also demonstrate to these teams that they cannot get too lax in these situations. They need to focus up. They need to play cleaner because there's mistakes being made, and that is what Overwatch at these higher levels of gameplay are. It's a game of mistakes, and if you mess up, someone's going to punish you for it.
Oh, it's looking like right now Rift punishing Good Boys, and Good Boys with a higher record right now. Rift really wanting it a little bit more, as you could tell by the end, especially that EMP coming up onto Abyss. Didn't really help him, but good thing you got that nano boost, and good thing you had Chime in your back line as well to make sure that Good Boys just could have no fun. A lot of people falling low. Biz, Salty, Thunder. Oh boy, and Thunder just cannot escape. What a wall from Chime to make sure that there's no escape, and now it's all systems go here for Rift. They've got Thunder down, they've got Biz down, no more walls available to you, and now you just have to trap the Junker Queen in. Junker Queen cannot escape, no space in that wall either, and Rift is going to win this one convincingly to flip them out in the first point.
That was so tragic. That wall, the Mei wall, it looked like no one was doing any damage to the pillars. And when you're that DPS or that one support who's on the other side of the wall, you are begging, crying for your team to break that wall. And it comes down to just someone calling a pillar and just shouting at everyone to break it. If damage is not being done to it, it's not going to go away until it's on cooldown. And that's exactly what happened to that poor Reaper. As we go in, Thunder is just going to instant slide to the high ground, going uncontested. Look at that damage.
Yeah, Yamitra falls low, but good coalescence. Coalescence keeps all the team up and does a little bit more damage. Chime is able to find Pascal in the meanwhile. That's one of the supports, but Astro does go down. So maybe a chance here if Good Boys wanted to still fight this. Unfortunately, just way too much damage and way too much fear of that Mei blocking you off from the rest of your team. They back off for right now. Sound barrier available. Coalescence is going to be used by Pascal for right now. Yamitra has the sound barrier also to counter this out. And now there's going to be the sound barrier out. Rift is able to catch up all 5 from Yamitra's sound barrier. Good Boys finding 4. Salty the only one not inside of that sound barrier. Blizzard's going to be used from Chime. And then there's going to be the Rampage. Salty gets out of the Blizzard by using the Rampage, and that's going to work out in their favor as they find Yamitra. They found 2 of the supports. They found 2 of the DPSs. My, oh my, what a play from Good Boys. And Good Boys is going to take this right back on the team kill.
All right, 62. That could put us about 1 fight territory. Just based off of how these fights have gone, they tend to take a little bit longer. At least last map. This map, they're going quite a bit faster. So maybe 2 fights for Rift if they can manage to win back this point. However, looking at Good Boys, we've got that Mei ult as well as the overclock coming out from Thundra. Mei ult dropped first, and they're in cryo freeze in the middle of the team. That could be a spell for disaster. X10 comes in, is shot into the air, goes down. Losing your Reaper, who can kind of be your front line, and Chime goes down as well to Thunder. Not even an overclock, just uses the rail shot to manage to take down 2, and is probably, gonna send Astra over to the Shadow Realm as well. It's touch bot door challenge, hopefully not. People are gonna start backing off. Lucio is gonna wall ride to freedom, and by that I mean possibly to the Shadow Realm as well.
Yeah, well, they have to back up. What a play from Thunder there. Thunder getting revenge from the start of the round, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay, you blocked me off. All right, I'll just get a few kills on you afterwards and maybe even take the lead. Good Boys actually will take the lead unless Rift can make this super quick. And now there's going to be a lot of ultimates pulled out. Death Blossom, Coalescence at the same time on either end. Yamitra, though, does go down on the hands of Thunder's railgun shots, which have been so impressive thus far. But it's the Nemesis form. The punch away here from Astro alongside the Annihilation, which finds Noctis. There's going to be a fight win here. Thunder just cannot find a way to escape. Chime ends him off, and Rift takes it back.
Rift ended up spending Death Blossom, didn't find anybody in it because it was Mei, it was just Biz inside Cryo Freeze in the middle of the Death Blossom saying, okay, you can't really touch me anyway. So we used that, we used Coalescence, and we ended up using Annihilation all from the side of Rift. Now we're banking on Chime's Blizzard to be huge to win this fight. However, Biz has Blizzard as well. So we could see, the dueling Mei ults. It's just going to come down to which team uses their cooldowns better to get out. Both have a lot in their pocket to allow for survivability in those instances. However, Yamitra's the one with ult online first. There's the Mei ult. Down goes Abyss. Rift, this ain't looking too good for you.
Yeah, this ain't looking good, but they're trying to turn the fight. Astro, though, can only get 1 before the rest of it. Rift will get it into overtime clock, 99-71, but it's going to be Good Boys hanging on for dear life at the moment. But Rift has 2 ultimates available to them, which is the Blizzard plus the Sound Barrier. Good Boys are the same thing, Sound Barrier, except the one that could make the difference with absolutely no key to go to counter this would be that Rampage. So we hit the 80% mark. They're going to regroup here, but you would think right now that Rift would have that advantage, especially with the Blizzard, but Salty was able to get out of that last time. So let's find out if they can. They're going to try to fight right into Hookah here, 99 to 90%. This is how close it was last round. It'll be as close as it was this round as well. And we'll see what happens. Rampage available. Rampage is going to be used to block. Nothing there. Shun says, no, not today. Blocks him off. And now there's going to be the Blizzard right on top of Biz. Biz is not going to be able to escape. And there is no life left here for Good Boys, as they've only got Noctis, Pascal, and Salty left to go. They're going to try their best, though. Coalescence is out. Point still belongs to Good Boys in the
Pascal.
meanwhile here, but this Coalescence may not be all not. And it's just a bleed away now. There's only one person left to go on the point, which is Salty. Salty dies. It's only going to be this Lucio left. They aren't able to flip the point just yet. Noctis is able to stall out. And now the Annihilation just to cancel everything out. Thunda's going to be able to only touch the point, and that's it before they die. And it's going to be Rift winning two very close ones, 199 either way on the City Center or the Gardens. But it's Rift that starts off with a 1-0 lead.
All right, I need to talk about, after we see Chimes play the game, which I'm pretty sure is probably going to be borderline first map, first fight, actually. And it looks like, no, this was when we were near the end of the first map, comes in, takes out the JQ, says, Lucio, you can go join your friend in spawn, and then flies in to get the third. Now, I want to talk about what we saw at the very end of that last map when we had Salty with the Rampage on lock. There's something that every Overwatch player is familiar with, and it's known as telegraphing. And there are things that some people do that make it very obvious what they're looking to try and pull off. And that JQ Rampage ultimate, if you saw that JQ rotating through Hookah to your high ground, and you knew you had 2-3 people stationed up there, and one was definitely a support, you know she's looking for Rampage. So May was just like, yeah, maybe try and force us off the high ground before rampaging. Just a thought. Instead, here's the ult instigate, throws wall up, and says goodbye.
Yep, just says absolutely goodbye, blocks him out, says no. I mean, deny whatever you want, return to sender, but that Maywall, huge for them. And Rift, in the end, winning 199. Very close to maps, mind you, as well. There was pretty much action all over the place wherever you looked, but that 199, absolutely insane. And that's the kind of energy you like to start off a game if you're Rift, especially, again, needing at least 2 of 3 wins to have a shot at the playoffs. But right now, they're sitting pretty at a 1-0 lead over a team that is 5-3 and have won the last 5 of 6. Not a bad way to start off. Meanwhile, we go into the next map here, and the next map is going to be a hybrid. So again, only 3 map choices to go from: Eichenwald, Midtown, or Nimbani. From what we've seen so far, Nerdy, is there anything from Good Boys that you would think points to any of these 3 maps?
Honestly, I feel like Good Boys could pull off an Embody just fine. I do advise possibly not going to Midtown. It seems like a lot of teams, they're either really great at Midtown or they really struggle on it. And so with that type of coin flip, I do not advise going. Rift struggled on Midtown last week as well, but they were going against Pirates and Pajamas, who have Chronic, who is a hit scan warlord and will force Widow and Ashe into almost anything. So that could definitely have been kind of a symptom of why things went so rough for Rift. Mm-hmm. But with that in mind, Rift is the team that picked Midtown last week. So that shows that it's typically a map that they'd feel comfortable going on. Honestly, I think Eichenwald, if you're willing to change up compositions just slightly and be ready to adjust, because third point allows for a lot of adjustments on defense, and even second point can, if you don't get positioned onto castle fast enough as offense, allows for a lot of change-ups as well. I think possibly going Eichenwald would be a great opportunity for Good Boys to pull this one back in their favor.
Well, let's see. And Good Boys actually going up to Midtown now will be the next no.
I need to stop.
And
I need to
Nerdy
stop.
just needs to pause for a second, but we'll give the records in the meanwhile. From the records we do have, Midtown is only, and actually for Nimbani, fun fact for them, for Good Boys, have not won a single time on Nimbani. 0-1 against Dragon Dance, 0-1 against Amplify, 0-3 against Afterlife. So Nimbani, not a good map for them, but Midtown is the next map big. And in fact, on from what the data we have so far on Midtown, Good Boys 1-0, Rift 0-2 on this map in the head-to-head against on the map records here. So basically, I mean, map pick advantage here for Good Boys, I guess is what you could say, because on Midtown, Pirates and Pajamas beat Rift here 1-0, and the other Midtown map was Strix, who picked this map against Rift, and Strix would win that map as well 2-1. So not a very good time for Rift, if you will, and they haven't really seen past the third point.
No, and like, that's the odd thing, is that Rift continues to pick this map when they've lost first map. And so I'm interested to see how Good Boys tries to use this in their favor, because that shows that both teams for some reason think that this is the secret sauce. I don't know if Rift needs to check the recipe or something, but Good Boys probably has it a little bit more on lock. Whether or not it's the Big Mac sauce or it is coming out with, you know, the Burger King sauce, I don't know. But with that being said, I really hope that we do see the entire map. This map has been notorious, at least for you and I, so far on broadcast
Yes.
historically, have not seen even the truck, the fire truck has not come out of the fire station yet.
Well,
So
are you
I would
just
like to
cursing it
see
at this
that.
point?
I'm not. Oh, maybe I am. Maybe I am. And I will accept it if I end up cursing it, and I apologize if I do. But I want to see the entire map, and not in a fly through before the map starts type of deal. I want to actually see all 3 points at least once. It's my only
Yeah.
request.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can only hope. We can only pray that we see past the point number 1. But in any case, right now, teams are almost readying up. But in the meanwhile, let's see if we can get some scores from the other matches. And again, a lot of other games you want to watch out for. If you're a Rift fan, you're watching Timeless versus Worldwide. If Timeless Timeless is actually losing that game against Worldwide right now. So Worldwide, again, 1 loss and they're out. They are in 1-7 right now currently, and 1 loss would eliminate them theoretically from the playoffs. Timeless, though, needs some. I mean, they would only need at least a win, and maybe less. I mean, the predictability to get them into the playoffs is higher with 1 win. 2 wins would be great. But this Timeless game right now, if Timeless loses this and Rift wins, Rift versus Timeless becomes that much more important going into game number 2. And actually, Ultra Splash versus Saints right now having another score for them. Ultra Splash up 1-0. Saints' hopes of getting a number 1 seed right now kind of fading away just a little bit, but would need to win that match and would need to win against Pirates in Pajamas as well in order to even have a chance at that number 1 seed. But still plenty to talk about. Another game you want to watch out for, Strix and Amplify. Do not have a score for that. We'll see if we can, but Strix and Amplify right now going down. And Strix, again, a lot of things need to happen for Rift to get in. Strix would need to lose as well. Amplify needing only 1 win to secure themselves into the playoffs there. So plenty to talk about in terms of scores and lots of standings as well to go off of. But again, those are your live scores, live score updates as of right now. We'll continue to monitor that. We'll continue to update that as we go along through in between the games. But again, next map is going to be Midtown here. You and I have not seen past it, but I mean, maybe we get to see it this time around, because I mean, Thunder's been pretty good on, and if you're assuming that because Good Boys picked it, Rift is going to be on the defensive side this time, most likely going to be defensive, since Rift is the side that picks what side we're going on right now. And so if you're looking at this from the standard of Good Boys, if Thunder's hitting shots like they were earlier on without getting stomped all over the place, if that Sojourn pops off, we might be able to see a fire truck here.
We might. It's just, you know, this first point going into Midtown, there's a reason why we didn't see a whole lot last week, and that is because it is very difficult. If you run a brawl, you have to rotate very carefully and make sure your team doesn't get split. If you're running more of the spam composition, you need to swing and take angles, and you do it without burning a bunch of cooldowns or burning your entire health pool, so your supports have to get you out of jail, so to speak. So with that being said, it's really going to come down to who's able to force out some abilities early from one side and be able to claim space, but also know when to give up that space, which I did see actually from the side of Thundra when we were looking at their POV in the last map. They were willing to back off to make sure that they weren't right in the face of a pummeling ram or right within range of a Mei to be able to wall them off after at least the first time they got walled off. They learned their lesson and swapped off Reaper and went Sojourn. So if the entirety of the Good Boys team is able to do that, shows the discipline that we've seen Rift had in the past on this map as well, to give up space as necessary and claim space when they can, play the advantage, we might see this go past the first point.
We might, but we can only hope at this point as we head into the streets of New York here. And very nice map. Always love this map, and I love the music in the background as well. Nice music going on here for the Midtown pick. But right now, again, you're looking at a record right now for Good Boys. Again, we'll monitor this. Good Boys 5-3, only needs a win here to get into the playoffs if you're a fan of the Good Boys. Meanwhile, if you're Rift, needing 2 wins at least, would need a win against Good Boys and Timeless at the very least, or would need at least a win against Timeless plus 1 other win versus their other 2 matches. So plenty to play for here for Rift. Have the lead 1-0 right now. We hit 30 seconds left to go, and for Good Boys, they are on the defensive side to start here, but they are not going with that Sojourn start. They're going to go with that Mei Reaper combination, and Salty actually stays on the Junker Queen.
Yeah, they're going JQ Brawl, which it can work. It really, I feel like, is going to come down to Biz getting advantageous walls and not accidentally walling off their own DPS or their own tank. It happens. Everyone makes that mistake. But for the side of Rift, it's really going to be coming down to, because now they have Ramitra on the Baptiste. So those walls just cannot be in a spot where Ramitra can't jump over it, and then Ramatra will be fine. And that allows X10 to get a lot of pepper damage in from different sides, and then Chime has the ability to go off, pull attention, unfortunately get pulled into the Shadow Realm by Thundra on that Reaper. Gotta make sure you check your angles. I know this isn't Valorant, but yikers, that was rough. That was like 2 shotgun shots to the head and into the respawn. We've already forced out a lot of cooldowns from the supports as well as the Nemesis form coming out from the side of Rift. So that's a fight win for Good Boys just off of cooldown usage.
Yeah, so I mean, good plays so far from Good Boys on the defensive end. That Tracer really set them back for a little while. 100 charge up for X10, not able to find a shot just yet. But Rogun's ready to go. Fires a shot, is able to find at least a little bit of a hit, but nothing else as they back off. Now it's all systems good. Good Boys want to go right on in, and in fact, it's going to be Thunder that lands up on the point, maybe getting to having to back off just a little bit as the pressure from Rift is just on, but a good Tracer shot right there from Thunder, and again, just forces back Rift, and nothing doing it this time around either.
Reaper is going to Shadow Step, go after the Baptiste. May used wall, might have made it so Reaper couldn't get out. That was, I guess they foreshadowed it a little bit. Make sure you don't wall off your own DPS.
Yeah. Well, don't wall off the story, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, all right, well, Biz has the Blizzard available to them, and right now it's just not going to use it because, well, Biz is gone. So it's going to be looking like a first tick at least for Rift at the current moment, but looking to see if they can find any entry point back in. Rift might be able to get a second one in, but X10's able to find Noctis, so maybe less of a chance for Good Boys to even make a comeback here. And there's a second one right onto Salty. No chance here at all, especially with the Kitsune rush out. No annihilation needed either. It's going to be Rift getting all 3 ticks and another 2.5 to the board.
I don't know why the Kitsune rush was spent in that instance. It could have been a hit skew and then, oh, I guess I didn't need that, because the side of Good Boys was already down Salty and was already down Lucio. So those two being down, the rest are pretty much sitting ducks. Yes, they can get out, but you don't need to confirm those kills because you can just chase them up onto the high ground and take it over. So with that being said, perhaps the Kitsune rush was a little unnecessary, but it was a I want to assert dominance moment. That's fine. X10's coming up on this overclock. We hear that we've got Moira ultimate coming in. Coalescence is going to find the opportunity to just take a lamp down. Salty and Noctis, though, returning the favor to their eliminations they received at the end of the first point cap, taking out the people that killed them. A little bit of revenge. It's always nice.
Yeah, it's always nice to get those kills, and now, oh, this Baptiste. Oh, boy. Poor Baptiste. Dimitri just can't find a way out. But anyways, Chime is looking to pull them away, but Chime now has to run away because they noticed that, well, you're not going to force a C9 that far away from checkpoint. There's no way.
No,
There's
but Chime was
no
doing
way.
their job on
Yeah, well,
Tracer.
they tried. Pulled them away from the fight for right now to allow Rift to get right back into it. Blizzard is there, but there's protection Susu to get them out of it, and it does indeed get them out of it. So Blizzard goes for nothing from Biz for right now. So Good Boys still having 3 ultimates on the board. Rift having 2. Coming up on a 3rd. What a bio grenade with no Suzu to protect them. What a nade. I'd rather not a nade, I should say, but what a rampage from Salty to get 4 down. And my, oh my, that one rampage, but Good Boys using everything and the kitchen sink to throw at him. But that rampage, super important for them to win that fight.
It was, and honestly, following up with Thunder's Death Blossom, I think was great. I mean, at the end of the day, there's going to be a point where you're going to most likely be at an old disadvantage. With how these last 2 fights have gone, 3rd fight is going to be a little rough. That's just how it is. You can't expect to win every single fight. You need to prepare to lose a couple. And so this is just, we're going in it. We're treating it as though we have neutral. If you look, though, Rift only has online Ymitra's ultimate. They do, however, have Kitsune Rush coming up. You could LOS this window, which is exactly what Salty's going to do. Be like, wouldn't it be funny if I reinstalled my S key? That's exactly what Salty decided. Now, Abyss has Kitsune Rush. If they use it from the high ground platform onto the low, it can be huge. If they just use it in a single location, it can be a little bit sticky. Reaper's already forced out of Wraith, and it looks like Thundra got dangerously low. Well, X10 got dangerously low. Ymitra goes down in the Kitsune Rush. The response with the Coalescence, so just telling your team to hit W, beautiful.
Beautiful plays. 2 kills already here for Good Boys. As Rift having to back off, only down to a minute 45 seconds left to go on the clock. Astro and Abyss both going down. X10 falling low as well. That's a huge stagger for them to get another 10 seconds plus off the clock. So 90 seconds, less than that actually, left to go here for Rift. They started off pretty well actually after losing the first fight. Their second fight turned out pretty well, but Rift just cannot find an answer, especially to where that payload is. Underneath in that underpass area has to touch at this point, but with so much damage coming out from Good Boys, this would be really nice to have. Salty coming up on a rampage as well, up to 74%, nothing doing just yet. Biz's turret is gone for right now. Chime has a pulse bomb. Nobody can really annul that for right now, so they've got a minute left to go. Pulse bomb is going to be thrown. Nothing stuck, but X10 is able to find a headshot. Now is able to pull out the overclock at the same time. Seeing if they can find out any shots, but now it's just a Lucio. Lucio gone off of it, and now they've got 55 seconds, but it's looking like a fight when X10 popping off for 2 kills, looking for a third, looks for the third, and what a pop-off from the overclock. The headshots rolling for X10 right now. The Annihilation is available. Keep it here. 40 seconds remaining on the clock, seeing if they want to touch it all. They have the Reaper available to touch. Maybe even the Torbjorn. 92 hundredths of a meter left to go. 35 seconds. Final fight happens right here. They get rid of it. Now it's going to be the Rampage. Only hitting Astro meanwhile, but does have the Annihilation. Doesn't even matter. Might not even need it. They've already got 3 kills, including Chime, 2 in the back line. Onto Biz, onto Pascal. X10 starting to clean them as well. And it's going to be Rift finding a way to hang on for another 90 seconds.
I understand the urge to make the hero play, but barring this 20% differential that would be between Ymitra's ultimate as well as, you know, not having it, if you were to just err on the side of caution and think that Lucio has beat, perhaps just fighting like you're going to attempt to win that fight if you're Good Boys and force out an early beat or force out Astronix's ultimate would have been better rather than committing an ult. I don't believe anybody on the side of Rift even decided to hit Q, even though it was the last 30 seconds, which would be an instance where they would want to. Instead, we're starting with Coalescence. We lose Astronix. We hear beat get dropped, unfortunately, after the body hit the floor for our Ramatra. And Noctis is going to boop in the Baptiste. And we also see that Blizz with that Molten Core is going to pick up Yumitra. Wall goes down, Crowd Freeze goes down. May says, okay, I'm not even going to fight back.
Yeah, well, Good Boys, meanwhile, having a sound barrier available to them. Rift also having the Annihilation to available. I don't think Astro's used that Annihilation yet. Astro's been holding on to this for a little while, but for maybe 2 or 3 fights, but hasn't really had the need to use it. Now you would probably have the need to use it considering its last fight territory. Either side coming up on only 1 ultimate. For Rift, though, does not have a support ultimate for the all systems go Good Boys of that sound barrier. We'll see when they decide to use it. For right now, they back off around the corner. Corners are your friends. Walls are your friends for right now. Pascal, though, is able to find X10 in your back line. The turret's back there doing damage. X10 just can't find it. Pascal cleans up. Down to 24 seconds now. Immortality field gone. Pascal, though, just on a tear. This Moira just cannot be stopped. Finds a kill onto Abyss. The clock winds down even further. Annihilation is popped from Astro, but is this going to even able to find anything? No, that goes for nothing. Abyss is able to find Astro, but now Thunder's got the overclock. Thunder's found 2. Thunder can find another one as long as that immortality field is gone. Can find another one. Thunder's found 3.
Oh my gosh!
But nobody else is able to touch the payload. And Rift is stopped dead in their tracks at 29 meters after 2 points. My oh my, what an ending for Thunder and Good Boys. But they need that much more to tie up the series.
Yikes. Honestly, I think holding on to Annihilation for 3 fights, you could have built another Annihilation. That's just my 2 cents on that one. It's best as a hard support player at this point. I play Ting casually. Yes, I play it in ranked, but it's not like my sweaty comms happening. It's more just like, okay, they went JQ. All right, I'm swapping. It's more just like I'm just playing the counterplay and just being sad about it because it is so much rock paper scissors. But in this instance, like, it is very similar to being a support player where it's like it's better to have used your ultimate than to have died 3 times with it.
Yep. I mean,
because at that point, you're the Zen dying with trance.
Yeah. And I mean, better to use it at all. And you're right. I mean, he had plenty of time to use it, but didn't even use it last fight. Could have built. I mean, that ult builds up fast if you do it correctly, but still, I mean, yeah, just not using it wasn't a great thing. Although, I mean, it didn't work out in the end, especially when rest of Good Boys was able to kite off of that, and even the Blizzard didn't. The Blizzard really didn't help him either. So Thunder also going off also doesn't help you. But now Thunder switches on over from the Sojourn to the Reaper instead. So basically a similar formation that they had on defensive side, and Rift is going to come out of this gate. Maybe may know that, may not, but let's find out if they do. Pascal's also been a demon on this Moira, getting 2 picks on the back line.
I'm here for it. I adore DPS Moiras. As much as players might hate it because they want healing. It's
all right,
that is like, be with
that
me.
is at the Nerdy Bird, by the way. to add for that comment. Anyways, Astro's emoting, and I don't know, Astro, you're falling a little low there. Might not be the time to emote. In fact, you are falling low, but good thing your supports are right there to help them out. No ticks gotten just yet, but there's the first tick, and they're just backing them off. Salty with the axe kill, able to find Abyss bleeding away in the back line. That wall's not going to help you when the rest of the team can just follow up. First tick is gotten, second tick is gotten, and it's going to be all 3 ticks in one fight. There goes the Sojourn of X10. There goes Astro, and 2.5 added. It's going to be a massive time bank here of about 5 minutes and 45 seconds.
All right, hear me out to everyone that's currently watching, because we've all done it. We've all hit the emote button before the round starts and then realize the emote animation has a designated amount of time before you can stop it. I think that's exactly what we just saw happen. Astronics, the math was not in Astronics' favor, and they miscalculated. They were still emoting by the time the round started and people made it underneath, and they were like, oh no, I messed up, protect me. We were forced immortality. Abyss was forced forward to get the immortality onto their poor Ramatra. It was a recipe for disaster. It's okay.
Yeah, well, it's going to have to work out now for Rift the rest of the way. Can't emote anymore, because now you know you've got 5 minutes and 45 seconds to defend for at least this point. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit more time after the second point. You got a little bit of time afterwards, but 29 meters, not a lot of space to play with. Pascal using the Coalescence, able to find Chime, and now the sound barrier for Yamitra is dropped, but it might have been a little bit too late. However, just the punches away onto Salty, plus Yamitra in their backline as well. Salty is gone. So the question is, does Good Boy still want to push up on this? Biz says yes, and Biz has a Blizzard available to them with no sound barrier to help out. But Biz just getting booped away. No Blizzard just yet, but it's still X10 and Astro getting kills rather. And now it's just this May just running away for their life. 4 minutes and a half left to go. May goes down, and boy, oh boy, Good Boys just not finding an answer in that fight.
I gotta point it out, Biz got Salty killed again.
Yep.
Walled the JQ into the Ramatra when you're supposed to wall the Ramatra away from your team. And Salty was probably like, drop wall, please! And I think Biz actually was low health too, so it was like, either you die or we both die. I pick you.
Yeah. X10 coming up on an overclock. Astro also having the Annihilation Abyss with the Application Matrix, which will be used first. Good Boys having 4 check marks on their side of the floor. Now the Blizzard is going to come out right onto the point. Is this going to find anybody? No, it actually does. It finds Astro, who's frozen. Good thing you have the Immortality field to keep you up. Astro's going to use that. Rampage is huge, though. Finds 3, and Abyss no longer has that Immortality field to save you. No key to go either to save your skin. Astro falling oh so low and will fall dead down to the ground, and it'll be the Good Boys pushing up on this payload. My, oh my, what a fight, though. Salty again coming in with a great Rampage.
I absolutely adored the response from Noctis. Hanging on to beat through Chime's ultimate and waiting for Astronics' ultimate. You don't really want to beat a May Blizzard anymore. You want to amp speed and get your team out of it and pray that your team is close enough to you to get out, and then you beat the Ramble. That's exactly what happened. Yep. Now, we have a beat coming online for Rift, as well as X10 popping that overclock. Chime very close to ultimate again, so that's going to come down to supports having the utility online to keep their team alive, but never mind, Chime is going to be sent to spawn anyway, so they don't have to worry about the Blizzard.
Yeah, they find it, but now they're going to use the sound barrier. Mitra wants to defend this right now. 1.87 meters left to go. X10's able to find Salty with a body shot onto the secondary railgun shot, and now no more ultimates on the side of Good Boys. No support ults either, and when X10's going to pop off, X10's going to find heads to roll. That's 3 kills for the Soldier and make it a 4th, and Rift holding on with the defense. Yamitra sound barrier comes up clutch for them.
All right, so your Mitra using that sound barrier to make sure teams could sustain and get a little bit more aggressive, more brawly than they were able to. I understand wanting to use it. It wasn't a defensive beat, though. Remember, that defensive beats are more optimal in Overwatch 2. It's just how it is. Now I am worried, because we don't have a beat to go up against the other team who's coming up on the mail. Of course, you can't really use it for that. But it's really, when they know Thunder is going to start looking for this ultimate, they could have been using this beat.
Yep. Thunder does not have the Death Blossom available, though, but Biz does come up on the Blizzard. Chime is going to use their Blizzard first, and this is going to catch a lot here. It's going to freeze out the Reaper. Salty's in it still, but blocked off by the walls for a little while. Trades out Thunder for a second. Now the Annihilation is used, but now it's going to be a freeze out from Biz, and Astro does go down as well. What a Blizzard that comes out from Biz. That helps them out with 1.34 meters left to go. It's still a fight onto the point. It's only the Soldier and the Lucio left to go. Now it's going to be Noctis dropping down the sound barrier to help them out. And now it's just going to be the Baptiste hanging on. But it's only 29 meters left to go. The point unlocked. And now the payload's actually going to go rather quickly here after that wall drops. So it's 2 minutes and 54. Rift has to come all the way from their back spawn. And only are going to have a couple of seconds here with 3 people on point. They're going to fight this one out. Rift having a Sojourn all. Rift having that overclock ready to go. Coalescence at the same time. Salty having a big rampage up available as well, deciding when to use it. 4.15 meters left to go, down to 3 meters now. They fight right on point. Here comes X10 with the overclock. They kite off for right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, where is, I think this is, yeah, this is Salty on top. Salty's actually on the top end right now.
What?
It's going to be the Coalescent. Rampage drops down. X10 is caught inside of it. X10's the only one that's getting caught inside of it. X10 slides away for right now. Salty, though, able to chase down X10 even with the wall up. Astro is caught up. 200 health left to go. And might be even less with less healing. Mitra has the sound barrier. Mitra wants to use the sound barrier in this fight to get some picks off. And Abyss is able to find Salty. Big pick for them right now. And is able to find Thunder as well. Abyss will not use the application matrix, but man, oh man, Rift holds on.
I'm absolutely adoring Biz being like, I'm gonna be a third support hero here, and I'm just gonna use Mail to counter Ramatra ultimate, because that seems like that's all Biz's duty is right now. Oh, Annihilation, here's Blizzard, throws in Snowball, and now we hear, it sounds, oh wait, we have a Hanzo now. Okay,
yep,
X10,
we have a Hanzo.
RNGesus, take the wheel, get these pot shots, find those heads, click them. We've seen X10 pop off. X10 does great typically on these hit scans, but the projectile, definitely a little bit more of a stronger suit here. We hear the May ultimate used to counter the window that was decided to be dropped by Abyss. Biz using that ult like they're freaking Lucio. I love it.
Yeah, Biz is popping off, finds 2 kills already. Salty's found a third onto the knife, and it's just X10 left to go with only way left to go. Is this Annihilation needs to find everybody? It will not. And boys and girls, welcome to what a match here. We are tied up in one apiece. The best of 5 has just turned into a best of 3.
Pretty classic.
Wow. I mean, what a match there. Good Boy is able to find another win, and this is going to be X10. And why not put a 4 on the board here for X10, especially with that sound barrier dropping well off, and X10 staying alive, able to find 2, is able to find 3, and I think a 4th here is going to be captured as well. Yep, body shots on that one as well. But what a play overall from X10. Not good enough, though. Rift is able to, or rather, I should say, Good Boys, able to find their first point of the series, and now we're tied up at 1 apiece. But, I mean, for at least we got to see the fire truck. Let me point that out. We got to see the fire truck. We got to see it out of the tower and out of the station. And we got it all the way to the train station. Unfortunately, not much more than that. We didn't even get to see the home stretch or whatever. But that's the best we're going to get for right now. But anyways, we move on. Yeah, close enough. We got the fire truck. But anyways, we move on to the next map now, which is going to be Escort. So the only 4 maps that you've got, Circuit Royale, Dorado, Route 66, Gibraltar. We haven't really seen much in terms of snipers at the very least. I mean, we haven't seen a Widowmaker. We've seen the Hanzo from X10 at the very least right at the end there. So, I mean, who knows what we could see. But other than that, Circuit Royale, Dorado, Route 66, Gibraltar, Nerdy, what's the map you're looking for here? Because it is going to be Rift's pick coming up, and there's a little bit of history as to what they pick here.
Look, I just, my suggestion, not that they have to take it. I mean, Good Boys, I haven't seen enough out of them yet to really say whether or not I feel like they'd be successful in Circuit Royale. I feel like Rift needs to avoid it. You're putting a lot, like, I'm not saying X10 is bad at the game in any way, shape, or form. X10 is great, but you're putting a lot of pressure on X10 to make sure that X10 is always in the right spot, always getting the headshots, always getting those eliminations, and that's a lot to put on a single player. And if you aren't able to support that, if you're not able to run double sniper, it's going to be a little bit rough. With that being said, we saw Rift last week on this, and unfortunately they were going up against Pip, and Pip has Chronic, and Chronic is a chronic Widowmaker enjoyer, and that was the most horrifying experience I've ever had as a caster, broadcasting a game on Circuit Royale. And I just feel like it so heavily favors the ability for people to click heads and the long sight lines. It's just, there's very little room for error on that map if you are attacking and not able to go toe-to-toe with that sniper. So honestly, I would love to see something different. I would love to see some Gibby. As much as people hate Gibby, I enjoy it. Give me Watch Point Gibraltar, please.
Well, Watch Point Gibraltar right now would not line up in terms of favor for actually, it is going to be Watch Point Gibraltar here. So, well, you got Watch Point Gibraltar. Unfortunately for Rift, this has not been their map. As of this season, Watch Point Gibraltar, Rift is 0-5 on this map. They have not won a single time after 5 times on this map. Good Boys have had this map twice, but have 1 more win than Rift playing this 3 less times. So they are 1-1 here on Watch Point Gibraltar for Good Boys. Felt like maybe Dorado wasn't the pick. Route 66 we haven't seen out of Rift either. So you can see on your screen right now, Dorado and Route 66, neither map has been played by Rift. So the map that they maybe try to be comfortable on at the very least, they've gone 0-5 so far. In fact, for Rift, I mean, again, you look at Gibraltar, the picks not all too well. They haven't. They've picked this one, two. I believe they picked this 3 times so far, and none of it has gone their way. None of it has gone their way whenever they pick Watchpoint Gibraltar. So either way, I mean, we'll see what this comes up with. This is their pick after all. Good Boys 1-1. The only time I think we've seen that one win, if I'm looking at this correctly, going back to Worldwide, which they would win on Gibraltar 2-1 to clean up that series. So plenty to talk about here. But Gibraltar,
Okay.
dive heavy map. We've seen Winston here. We've seen Diva here. I mean,
I'm a Diva
maybe Salty's
enjoyer.
Junker Queen doesn't work out here. Maybe, just maybe.
I mean, okay. Honestly, last week Rift picked Circuit, and it was not their cup of tea. Like I said,
Yes.
It's putting a lot of pressure on X10. But if you looked at that scoreboard that we just put up to show everyone the map differentials and what people have performed on in the past, Good Boys actually has a positive record on Circuit Royale. So I think hard dodging that was a good way to go. And, you know, Gibby, there are 2 tanks that you're really going to struggle with playing on Gibby. One of them, Reinhardt. The other one, JQ. It is just because of the ability for the counter rotations, at least if you're attacking as JQ, the counter rotations that come out from the enemy backline as well as the DPS, just back off the high ground and rotate to a different high ground. That type of mentality, knowing when to give up space, is a huge deal on this map. And knowing how to control the high grounds, knowing when to jump down without using abilities, and not just walking off of high grounds, because that happens more times than I can count, and getting yourself annihilated. With that being said, I feel like we're going to have to see Salty play something else. I'm not positive the JQ is really going to work. You're going to have a Tracer who's most likely on cart, just kind of dealing with you and keeping you busy, not allowing you to do a whole lot, or you're going to send your own Tracer down there and Salty's going to try to get up on high ground, but then that's where the long sight lines start to come in. That's where the defense just starts to counter-rotate, and they survive, and you are getting peppered down.
Well, there's plenty of tanks to go through here. Good Boys having 3 tanks on their depth chart right now. QWQ and Avani, also the other 2 tanks that they have on the roster. If they want to decide to make a switch, if Salty wants to stay on that JQ, maybe it's not the best option like we were saying earlier on. Meanwhile, though, as we're waiting for them to get into the game, we'll see enough time to bring up some scores from the other matches. And in fact, we do have enough time, so let's take a look at this. And actually, Wisp cleans out Pirates in Pajamas already from the looks of it, 3-0. So a very quick match, mind you. But Wisp, yeah, able to take out Pirates in Pajamas very quickly. And that now means the standings get a little bit interesting. I'll ask our producer to do this in just a little while to take us to the standings, to the live updated standings, if you will. Afterlife and Dragon Dance going on right now. Afterlife also in the talks of a playoff standings. And in fact, right now, if you look at their standings, Amplify, or rather, I should say Afterlife, sitting at a 4-4 record. They could also be eliminated, technically speaking, of the playoffs if they were to lose, maybe lose twice. But Afterlife well on their way. Dragon Dance needing to win out the rest of the way. 1 loss, and they are eliminated from play. Strix and Amplify, no score yet. Let's go to the standings right now, actually, because that does change a lot of things. Now puts 0-3 Splash in the driver's seat and that number 1 spot. If they were to win out here, even if they went 1-1 right now on their scoreboard that you saw just now, they would win out. And now Pirates in Pajamas, Saints, and 0-3 Splash. I mean, Saints is playing 0-3 Splash right now, I should say. So that game becomes ever so more important for 0-3 Splash, because if they win that, they would be in the driver's seat heading into the last 2 matches at an 8-1 record. If Saints wins, oh boy, we got a different story here, because that would mean 4 teams can get to the number 1 seed, or rather even 5 if Good Boys wins this out. So this is going to be a very, very interesting couple of minutes as we wait for the other final scores. But we go on to the rest of this match. Map number 3, the best of 5 is turned now into a best of 3 as we head into Watchpoint Gibraltar, aka in terms of Nerdy's nickname for it, Gibby. We head into Watchpoint Gibraltar here. And again, dive map, no substitutions that we know of on either side. Salty will stay on top of this team here on Good Boys, and it looks like Junker Queen is going to get pulled out, especially on this defensive side. But Rift is going to pull out an Ashen. We've seen Ashes pop off before on your end.
I'm excited for it. We've got Chime on the sim. It's probably not going to last. They're most likely going to just TP the supports over to the other side of where Catwalk is at and get their team ready to go. Now the question is, I do foresee Chime swapping over, going Tracer, being the one forced on cart, and saying, hey, do you need anything from the store? I am resident shopper today. Sonic Arrow, though, goes out early. We see where Tundra is. Hopefully Chime doesn't have a repeat of what we saw last time.
Yeah, well, doesn't this time. Abyss falls oh so low, though. Those shots, plus the rest of the damage from Salty, is able to find it. My, oh my. X10's already 25% on the board, but Salty, though, I mean, X10's find the damage, but it's not going to be enough still. Salty's able to take him down, so not a push just yet. Rift wants to push, but I mean, just my oh my, the shots and the damage falling out here. Abyss falling also early. They just got no shot at this.
That was extremely painful to watch. We do see the Mercy swap coming in. I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure that will allow Chime to pop off quite a bit. Also, damage boost on Dynamites, if you can communicate with your Echo, like, hey, I gotta walk away, and X10 communicates those Dynamites. We already got the first elimination. Tundra goes down. May goes down shortly thereafter. JQ's gonna come out. They decided to go from the high ground to the close low ground hold, which is a strategy we've seen from my alma mater actually.
Chime.
But typically you have a Reinhardt or an Orisa doing that, so a little bit of an interesting change up on it. However, you didn't die fast enough, so the second position hold, which is typically right here, can't happen. So now the most difficult portion of first point comes into play here for the defensive side, which is you walk out and it's a death box.
Oh, let's find out. They walk out. Is it going to be a death box? Maybe not, but the Coalescence. Astro is just surrounded by so much damage right now, but good support line keeping him up for right now. And X10 able to find Thunder. Do you use some ultimates? Yes, you do. Rift is going to use the nano boost, and that's Abyss right onto Astro. Chime also used the duplication onto the Junker Queen, seeing if they can find the Rampage in time before this duplication runs out. Crown Freeze used for Biz, but Biz is not going to live much longer. Rampage is used, but does not find anything. Just short of the Lucio, but it doesn't really matter anyways. Rift is going to be able to find it. It is tragic, but Rift is going to be able to find it. I don't think they can touch in time, and in fact, they will back off for right now. It'll be good boys. I'm going to back off. Rift finds another 2.5.
And I do believe people decided to rotate spawns, which is always good. If you are unfamiliar, you can now hit your interact key after the point has been capped and swap spawns, so you're no longer staggered as heavily from your team. However, people still don't seem to do it. We've got X10 with the Bob coming online. Astronics has Annihilation. Rift does not have any support ultimates, whereas Good Boys coming up on that beat. They have Mail. They also have... Hopefully it goes off better this time for Salty as it did for Chime. Here comes in the Rampage.
Yep, here comes the Rampage. Hits Astro for right now. Biss also going down. So, I mean, this is a fight. And now the May here getting some damage done. That's already 2 kills. And now it's just Astro just waiting for death. And it's going to be a fence here for the Good Boys. But 3 minutes and 38 seconds, plenty of time. And in fact, X10 has not used the Bob just yet.
I mean, Bob, if you get him in the wrong spot on this map, becomes useless. You just threw something and that's it. Because if he goes to the wrong angle, he either doesn't see he won't see anybody, or there's a chance that the enemy team has the ability to just push him somewhere where he won't see anybody. So you've got to be careful when you use him. You can use him to gain space, but then you got to force the enemy team into the line side of the bomb. Otherwise, again, it's just wasted.
Annihilation is going to come out. Coalescence used simultaneously as well. It's a Moira versus a Ramattra, but the Ramattra is going to probably win that every single time, especially when a Dynamite hits you at the same time. Salty's now trapped in this room. No healers available. Salty's just going to have to fire away, build up an ultimate, but you're not going to be able to do that either. Good Boys falling oh so low. There's the focus beam out just to get rid of Thunder and the rest of the team, and it's going to be Rift being able to push up to the home stretch of the second point.
Mitra's going to be the one forced on cart, and it looks like Chai will join them for a bit, making sure it gets a little bit of extra speed. Salty's pushed up. There's the Bob! I think we've held on for a few fights. Just going to completely lock down this doorway. However, if everybody looks at Bob, he should get eliminated pretty quickly, but instead people gave up and just walked away and spent time walking away instead. We used the Mail to come in. Biz is going to go down. Noctis still has ultimate online. We hear the beat get dropped in counter to Abyss's ultimate. The Annihilation comes out. Ramicha coming close to the Brig rally. Just on cart is nano boosted, so it's raid boss Brig, and that is a horrifying experience to go through. Ramicha says, "Get off my points," and locks it down.
Locks it down, adds another 90 to the bank here. Good Boys going to switch off. Noctis now going to our first look at a Kiriko in this game, in this match so far. Haven't seen it yet. Pascal moves on over to the Ana. Salty staying on the Doomfist, thinking this can do a little bit here. And right now, Pascal able to win the Ana diff. Able to win it, although with a hack in the back line, courtesy of Biz, who switches on over to the Sombra. So Abyss goes down. Good fight here for Good Boys if they wanted to push him up, but not pushing him up just yet. There's going to be a hack, but the rally is out. There's your raid boss, but how long is the raid boss going to stay alive? Falls oh so low, but the rally only going to last for so long here. Only shields up your Mitra for a little while, but other than that, having to back off. Just around the corner, still good. Sticky nades on to Salty. They come around the corner into the home stretch territory. Astro is now bioed for just a couple of moments. Same thing for Pascal. Both are able to get outside of it. Yamitra, though, with a whip shot, able to take care of Biz. And now a sleep dart. What a sleep dart duplication here from Chime, just to hold on for a little while longer. Good bio nade. Keeps them awry for just a little while longer, but no nano boost available to them. Payloads into the home stretch. Salty, though, is able to find a rocket punch onto Abyss. Astro's in your back line, but isn't able to find anything with the Annihilation anyway. Salty, though, is able to find 2, and that might spell fight end. Noctis with the headshot just ends all hopes here, and Rift is sent back.
Okay, so when I saw this Doomfist spawn up, I was like, you've got to be a god on the sticks right now to be pulling out this Doomfist and feeling like it is the key to victory here, but it seemed to work out. I enjoy the Doomfist with the Sarma Tracer pick because that allows for a lot of pressure and a lot of quick eliminations as well. The only thing I'm concerned about is if our Doomfist gets slept.
Oh, EMP comes into the back line. That's going to be huge. That gets both of the healers, and so no more supports. And now Salty can find their way out and find their way just to play this game against Astro. Astro switching on over to the Winston instead. That's not going to last much longer without any supports. They back him off. 1 EMP and 4 kills. Rift sent back yet again with 90 on the clock.
All right, Salty, I see you. I see you on the Doomfist. It's scary. And we have...
and sprays after that, too.
I loved how it was a quick snap, too. Like, oh, shoot, that could be play. Spray.
That could be. Could be play, but sprays out right in the end. Anyways, just to prove the point, Astro falling low yet again. Winston having to just jump pack right out. 60 seconds remaining on the clock as Nano Boost available for Abyss. Maybe on to the Winston, in fact. Chime also coming up on an EMP. Biz nowhere near it. Salty almost has a Meteor Strike available as well. Noctis having that Keats and Air Rush could very well be the difference. Keats and Air Rush versus a Nano Boost. Who's going to win this one out? Nobody playing just front and center just yet. We really haven't seen this. They're just backing off. They're just kind of, dry fights left and right all over the place. And there's going to be a hack onto the Winston. Winston can't do anything for a little while. Astro stays back. Nobody's using anything, though. I mean, this is just as clean as it's going to get. Nothing doing on either end. They're just waiting. Who's blinking first? Somebody's got to blink in this 25 seconds. Now you got to blink on either end. There's going to be the Nano Boost up just in time for Astro. Astro does get Nano Boosted from Abyss. Salty's in your backline. Meteor Strike available to them, and Meteor Strike is going to go down inside this room. Protection Suzu there to save them, but everybody falling oh so low. There's the EMP to help them out as well. But my, oh my, it's not going to be enough. Chime used that EMP to no avail. It's just the Winston that is left to touch this point. 3 seconds left to go. Will he get the touch? Yes, he will. The Astro can only fall oh so low here. No more supports either to help you out. Kiriko can't heal for that much. Protection Suzu needing to be used, and there's the EMP. Yamitra goes down, also catches the Tracer, and nobody else left to touch. And it's going to be Rift stopped yet again. Deja vu from the earlier one, except this time they get 78.61 meters. But Good Boys coming up on their attack just have that much to go up 2-1 and looking at match point.
Holy cow, Salty, where's this Doomfist been? Holy cow, that was so good. I mean, it's not the most optimal tank in every situation, but wow, that was beautiful. I'm impressed.
Great Doomfist. I mean, you said it best. We'll see if this Doomfist can be good on the sticks. Well, I mean, that proved it. Salty was pretty dang good. There are a lot of eliminations, lots of final blows there. You only wish you could have the stats for the final blows there in the last minute or so, because my oh my, Salty going off here. But we'll see if Salty decides to pull up the Doomfist. Meanwhile, Rift on the defensive end. I mean, what do they have to do? Because last time, again, Deja Vu, they gave up 3 points on Midtown after only getting 2. So what do they have to do here?
Honestly, Rift, personally, I think they need to play around Astronics, realize how the side of Good Boys likes to play, know that if they aren't calculating for a male, then they are going to be in the wrong, and that their supports really need to play passively. You can't get overly aggressive. They need to stay the hell away from Biz, because it seems like when the supports stack onto Ramatra for Rift's side, that is when Biz says, okay, I'm going to drop the ult.
All right, well, let's see if Rift can put up a fence here. They would need to do so. This is a very important map. Map number 3. In a best of 3 situation. I mean, I know it says best of 5, first to 3, but really right now it's a first to 2. A map like this can be also important in the turning points for momentum. Rift needing to put up a very big wall. Already Chime up to 11%, X10 almost to 10%. Good Boys, both Biz and Thunder nowhere near it. Can't really get close enough to even get any damage done. So Rift just staving them off for right now. Kiriko in a little bit of trouble. Staking needs her there. Chime falls low. Thanks to just one shot, I believe it was from Biz, but nothing doing otherwise there. It was really just, again, much ado like the very last fight, coming up on the last fight of Rift's attack. It's who's going to blink first. Astro actually drops down below. Not a very good position for this Ramatra to be in. Chime flies away for right now, and they're going to have to back off as a team, but really no deaths in that fight.
Oh, and there you can see the little
Yeah,
green
they're going to
outlines.
rotate. Oh my goodness.
That is one heck of a rotation they all just decided to make.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're going to switch all over the place. I kind of like to call this the cinnamon swirl, if you will. Just go all the way around. Just make sure you flip sides here, and it's going to be attack versus defense, except the defending side might as well be good boys here, as they just try to push the right on in to the rest of this team. Now they're getting close enough to do some damage. There's going to be Chime duplicating into the Junker Queen, almost at a rampage, in fact, and that will have the rampage here to use. We'll use it right alongside. No Suzu either to protect from that, but it's not even going to matter. They find 2 picks for the good boys. In fact, that might just be enough to push them forward here as long as they can get rid of the rest of the team. But Rift still staying strong here. And in fact, has a Kitsune Rush available. Good headshot. And Noctis might be able to find the headshot onto X10. Huge for them. And Good Boys is able to advance.
All right, I'm all for these Natter-like rotations that teams like to make. If anyone's familiar with some Overwatch 1, Natter was a coach who had creativity and rotations like that. Natter doesn't play in ladder so much anymore, but that was the type of stuff that he did. He encouraged his team to do. I've picked up on it. I've given some weird rotations to players before, and that is what I'm stealing, good boys. Thank you.
Cryo Freeze was used very early on, but let's see, somebody falling oh so low. That is Salty that falls low. No Suzu to save them either. So now it's going to be a nano-boosted Ramontra who does not use the Annihilation just yet. Chime is traded that out right away. Now Bob, the 6th man available to them, is going to be out, and actually will be the 5th man because Chime is out of the fight for right now. But it's enough to stave them off. Good boys not able to find an entry point for right now. So with a tank gone, the rest of the way, they just got to back off for right now.
It is so close to the checkpoint. I think it was just 2.1 meters off, and now it's backing up because no one's on it. It's only Rift on it. High ground control around blue blocks is in favor of good boys, which is where a lot of teams want to be, but you're good boys right now running Brawl. You don't need blue blocks. They have to make a new plan, and they've decided to look at the supports. Look at them. They took the high ground because everyone was on low from Rift, and they're like, okay, we surround and conquer you. Down comes Annihilation. Biz does not have ultimate to counter it, but Thundra and Salty getting up to 1 apiece.
Yep, 3 kills already, and that's going to be the rest of the team here. And it's going to be Astro using the Annihilation. Maybe wanted to fight for final, but because so many teams of the team was dead, I mean, maybe that's an ult to switch. Your Mitra switches on over to the Kiriko. Does Astro decide to switch on over to a different tank? That would be the question because they use the Annihilation. No, they stick on the Ramontra, so that Annihilation goes for nothing here. So it's a dry fight on either side, except if you're Rift. That does have the duplication available, not using it just yet, but my oh my, what a rotate at the top here of the spaceship, and now they just gotta hold on. And there's only one person on this point right now, and I believe that's Thunder, who's on the Tracer, having to heal up, and now has to duplicate. Forces out the duplication onto the main for right now. He's going to have to find some good value if this duplicate is going to be worth anything here for Chime. Not able to find any body shots with a few of the icicles, and in fact, we'll run out of time before that Blizzard can come even up online, unless this Crowd Freeze can do anything, which they won't even be able to use. Chime is stuck. Chime is trapped. Biz says, no, you're not going anywhere, my friend. Salty is violated for right now. It does not have a Rampage. Would be a perfect time to use a Rampage, in fact, but they're putting on so much pressure, so much damage, that in this side room, Astro can only block so much damage. But we'll see if they want to defend this. It is going to be Chime that is on the Tracer, chasing away. Now it's going to have a Nano Boost at the same time. Is able to find Biz. Now has the recall to rewind away from the rest of that. The fight still continues on here with 3.80 meters left to go until Good Boys can find another 90 on the bank here, but looking very dire. But now Rift is able to find Thunder thanks to Chime. Traded that out right away for X10, who switches on over to the Hanzo, but has a Dragon Strike available to them. Noctis, though, you're talking about DPSs. How about DPS supports? They found 2 kills already, and now the Kitsune Rush is out and about to see if they can secure this. And only 3.3 meters. Now the Blizzard is out. Dragon Strike down the middle, doesn't find anything. Suzu's used on either side. Astro's going to get frozen out, but slowed only for a little while as X10 is able to find Noctis, but is traded out right away. Now Biz finds a kill. It's still traded out. X10 can still find kills. Chime's able to find kills and sends them back as well. It's just going to be the Annihilation just to secure this point off. But my oh my, what a comeback. Astro's able to find the last double on the Annihilation, but what a hold from Rift.
That was incredible. I mean, the Dragon straight down payload, you kind of know you're not going to get value. It's very predictable. But that is also how it plays into your favor. Because everyone knows you're going to do it directly on the cart and straight down it, just based off of where they last saw you, it means no one's going to be on. They're going to back off. They can't stay on. Honestly, though, I would have loved to have seen the Dragons in conjunction with the Ramatra ult just to clean things up a little bit faster. However, Rift showing a lot of signs of life. Unfortunately, Biz has no more life left in them after Chime has just deleted them, sent them back to spawn. They swapped roles, which is funny. Biz has decided to go over to the Echo, whereas Chime swaps off Echo, goes Tracer. Would have been funnier if it was Main, but that's fine, because Chime is coming in, and is being a demon.
X10 as well, getting a few kills there, but my oh my, the aim from this Tracer is so good. I need to learn off that, man. I want to climb DPS just a little bit, but I'm a support main. I can't really say anything about that. But anyways, 20 seconds left to go. Tracer v Tracer battle. Who's going to win this? Neither or both sides have a recall for right now, but I'm able to get back out of there. 10 seconds left to go, and this card's a little far away. Somebody's got to find a way to touch here. It's going to have to be the Tracer of Thunder, but Thunder falls oh so low. 4 seconds left. They got to rush. It's now or never here. Somebody's got to find a way to touch. It is going to be Thunder that touches in time, but it's going to be Astro that finds the first pick onto Biz. So it's a 5v4 situation in the hands of Rift right now. There is the nano boost onto Astro. Coalescence traded that out though for Pascal. No more ultimates left unless you're the Rampage of Salty. Salty's able to throw out the Rampage. It's only going to be able to find Astro for right now, but is that going to be enough? Dragon Strike down the middle of the lane, finds a bit of damage. X10 though, still popping off, finds Pascal. Salty does take down Astro in the battle, and now Salty's find a second. That's both Kitikos down now thanks to X10. It's going to be Abyss left to go on point, and it's now just going to have to be Chime versus the Worlds here. And now what a defense from Rift, but it's going to be Good Boys in the end, finding themselves 90 seconds to push the 78 meters left required to get the second point.
They don't even have to push all the way, so about a minute 15 left. It's doable. Chime swaps off, is gonna go with the Ashe instead. So you and I talked about it earlier where neither side decided to go with Kiriko. Now both sides have a Kiriko. However, Rift has double a wow, Chime.
What?
Okay.
Chime what?
Wow. Rift has Dynamite and Anti-Nade now to have to deal with Suzu's. So that means Noctis needs to really be careful and it needs to tell the rest of the side of Good Boys, hey, don't be stupid, use natural cover, please, so I'm not forced to use Suzu just to save you from getting turned into barbecue.
Yeah, I'll help out the social media team here. Clip that, by the way. Clip that shot from Chime, by the way. I'll help you out right there. Set up.
That was amazing.
All right, well, that was an amazing shot. X10, though, with some more amazing shots on the Storm Arrows, able to find Biz for a little while. So we're down to the final 25 seconds. And this is the last fight territory here. This is where neither side wanted to blink before Good Boys decided, okay, let's finally go in. So now Good Boys having 2 ultimates on the board. With that Kitana Rush plus the duplication. Rift also having 2 of their own. They're looking for a third here, and actually might find all 5 check marks towards the end. Abyss, though, was able to find Noctis, and actually X10 headshots Biz out of the duplication. So both ultimates going for nothing here for Good Boys. And now X10 popping off. Dragon Strike down the middle. Rift wanting to get the 2-1 lead. And they talk about dang, it is over. X10 finds 3 there. My oh my. Ooh. And Rift is going to hold on. Denies the box, denies the second 3-2 in a row. And Rift staring down match point.
X10 popping off on the Hanzo. That was incredible. But it is salty with the play of the game. If we manage to get the spray in the very end of this, that's another clip that moment, like most definitely.
You see Astro in the chat right now. Astro saying, we want a payload map? Yeah, in terms of escort maps, this is their second win in a matter of 9 choices for them right now. They are 2-7. So their only other win came on Circuit Royale, which they were 1-2 on. Before that, by the way, folks, their first win on Gibraltar in 6 attempts on Gibraltar. They are now 1-5, but my oh my, what a way to get 1-5 on the record there now.
Perseverance.
Yeah, perseverance in the end gives them the 2-1 series advantage. And now they're going to go into map number 4. We will see Push here in just a couple of moments, but we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Rift staring down match point, or will Good Boys tie up a series and take us to map number 5? It's the Timeless Broadcast Project right here. We'll be right back. Welcome back inside of the booth, everybody. Nerdy Bird alongside Clutchkey here with you. So let's go. Actually, before we get into the next map, I want to talk about the scenarios that can go on. We'll go straight to the scoreboard here because a lot of interesting things going on around the Contender Series. And in fact, 2 games are now finished up. Wisp, and the big shock, I should say, Wisp taking down Pirates in Pajamas in straight fashion. 3-0 there in a sweep. And that means that there are now theoretically 5 teams that can get the number, or rather, I should say, there are now 4 teams that can theoretically get the #1 seeds. After Good Boys, if they win this, can still get there. But my oh my, what a shakeup that is! There are going to be plenty of teams vying for that #1 seed. Amplify beating Strix, that just went live on our side. As you can see, it being live updated. Afterlife beating Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance now one of the teams eliminated from a chance at the playoffs. They will now fall down to an 8 losses, meaning they can't get into the top 8 anymore. But Strix going down is huge. That is one of the requirements if you are Rift. Now, Strix needs to lose only 1 more here, and if Rift wins this, they can beat Timeless, then they have a well-off shot of making it into the playoffs here. But for Timeless, they are now beating Worldwide 2-1. So plenty of things to talk about here. We'll recap the scoreboard one more time as we finish up this next map. But the next map coming up here, Rift looking at match point coming up now. But the next map up is going to be Good Boys pick, and I believe if this map pick is correct on my end, it is going to be Esperanza coming up.
Yes, and this is going to be the first time Rift has played on Esperanza as far as the Contender Series goes. So it's our first time getting to watch them on broadcast as a whole. This is a historic moment for this Contender Series. Hopefully they have something up their sleeve that's going to give them the leg up here. Hopefully they've scrimmed to this map. Some teams that I've spoken to are like, there is only one push map that exists, and it is Esperanza, or it is New Queen Street. A lot of teams like to dodge Coliseo just because, well, if there's a god hit scan on the other team, that's just going to go Widowmaker, swing a corner, instant pot shot your team. It's not a fun time. Coliseo, we saw it last week where we spent, what was it, the first 90 seconds of the map doing nothing but staring at the bot because it was waiting for someone to mess up.
Yeah, and so, I mean, if you look at the head-to-head on either side coming up on push maps, only 3 to talk about here. New Queen Street has not been played on either end. And you take a look at what is Esperanza's side. Yeah, Rift has advantage, technically speaking, although they played Coliseo a little bit more, 2-3. This will be our first time looking at Esperanza, where Good Boys have the 2-1 record. First time, like we said, Rift will be playing on Esperanza as well. But for Coliseo, I mean, if we had gone to Coliseo, both sides having 2 wins. But in the meanwhile, in terms of push maps here total, Good Boys have seen push maps 7 times of their 8 matches that they played previously. So this will be 8 of 9 that we get to see. So Good Boys know what it's like to play in a long series. Rift has played 5 push maps altogether, all 5 of them being Coliseo, Esperanza being the next map up. So, I mean, from what we've seen so far, I mean, we've seen this Junker Queen work out in many different good ways, especially in different leagues as well, including Overwatch League when, I mean, I hate to say it, but, I mean, it worked out for the Los Angeles Valiant. But anyways, the Junker Queen gets pulled out, and sometimes, I mean, that works out in their favor. So Salty might have an advantage here if Rift decides to play that the way that they have been so far. But, I mean, watch out because Rift's got a couple of good people on their side, especially if X10 can pop off like they did on that last map.
And the one thing that I feel like push maps really kind of force is allowing for these rotations for brawls to happen because there is a lack of high ground. There is some minor elevation differences on these maps, but it's not so oppressive for one team that gets up on the high ground first for it to be an end-all be-all fight-winning, just pre-positioning and staging type of deal. So as we hop into Esperanza, I would not be shocked if you were 100% correct, Clutch, on the fact that we see Salty popping it back out onto the JQ. However, we could see Doomfist. Would it be advantageous to go Doom into a Ramatra Brawl composition that we likely will see coming out from Rift? Probably not, but it worked last time.
Yeah, I guess the thing would be don't fix what's not broken. But I mean, either way for Good Boys, I mean, Salty was on the Doomfist. That worked out for them. Unfortunately, in the end, didn't really work out for them on the attacking side on the Junker Queen. So who knows what could get pulled out here. But we go to the streets of Portugal right now, and with 20 seconds left to go, very nice map, the newest push map. Haven't really seen it yet, and we're getting very close as well to Season 6, so we're going to get Flashpoint here soon enough inside of this series. Can't wait to see that, and actually we'll probably replace what fifth map will be on control. Who knows what the series is going to look like after this? I mean, who knows what the order is going to be? Probably still standard. But anyways, we move on in here to the attacking side on either end. And yep, Salty's on the Junker Queen, pretty comfortable on it. Meanwhile, Rift is going to pull out Sojourn on X10's side. Meanwhile, on the support side, it's not going to be a mirror. It's still going to be that Baptiste Lucio versus the Moira Lucio.
I really wonder if once Flashpoint gets introduced, if we just act like push doesn't exist anymore, and we replace push with Flashpoint as far as the competitive scene goes. Or if we jump the gun and just decide to go, now it's best of 7, so we're guaranteed to see all different types of maps, or at least get as close as possible to each map type. But we're gonna roll out. Looks like Salty sticking with that JQ. We've got the JQ brawl for the good boys. We've got the Ram brawl for Rift. The advantage that they bring to the table, though, is X10 on that Sojourn. And as I'm talking about it, X10 finds the elimination onto the Moira. JQ with the pole axe doesn't find anything because May just said, I'm gonna go cry freeze.
Yeah, May just says, no, okay, let's save this for another day. Let's save this for another fight. Just goes into the crowd freeze and building up an ult quite quickly as well. But good boys right now just on the back foot to start. And statistically speaking, by the way, teams that win the first fight, about 80% chance you're going to win out in the end. So this is, I mean, it was a short fight, but theoretically could be counted as first fight. We'll find out here in a couple of moments. That wall actually goes a little bit short. It goes a little bit too far there. Well, X10 still finding kills on the Salty, and there's going to be a Lucio kill as well. So it's going to be X10 finding at least 2 plus Baptiste. And there's going to be a fight when everybody's finding a kill here on Rift, and it's going to be a first push and a first fight win here for Rift.
Yeah, so I think we can safely say that that was a
yes, now we can safely say that was first fight.
Yes, and Bot is pushing on its way over to that first checkpoint to get forward spawn, rounding this first corner. Typically, a lot of teams want to fight for this mega pack here, but with how quickly this is swapping over, I don't think they're going to be able to. They've also changed over to Doomfist, so fighting in that tiny room, not really an option so much anymore for Doomfist. It's get out, you have to break away, get through it quickly, and they've swapped over to the Sombra Tracer with that Doom, so it allows for a lot of space control, but it means the gas in the tank goes from full to empty very fast, so they gotta get picks quickly, and instead, we're going to see Doomfist go down as well as the Kiriko, both for good boys. And that is first checkpoint on lock for the side of Rift. Forward spawns have activated, but we've seen no eliminations. No one on the side of Rift has gone to the Shadow Realm yet. And we're coming up on the male. We have Overclock Rams very close. Both supports online with their ultimates. Whereas the side of good boys, no one has that glowing checkmark just yet.
You talk about no eliminations. Astra's in a little bit of trouble, but is able to be healed up right away thanks to the Immortality Field, plus a little bit of save from the rest of the team. And there's your first, I mean, there's a pick there with the Sombra onto the Baptiste, but in return, Salty does go down. 4 checkpoints available, kills on either side happening on both of the DPSs either way. But still, advantage goes on over to Rift, who has that forward spawn. But Pascal and Noctis both getting kills. It's the DPS supports for right now. Astra falls low, and it's going to be good boys finally flipping the robot, but not before that checkpoint is capped.
And everyone should be getting forward spawn for the side of Rift, unless my math is wrong. I was not a math major, by the way. I designed video games, so it could be wrong. Nope, Astronics is also going to be forward spawn. We're coming up on 4 ultimates for the side of Rift. We did expel the Lucio beat, which might have been a miscalculation on the side of your Mitra. Also, we have a T-posing Ramatra. Gotta love that that bug still exists. But this EMP would have been nice to have beaten, so we're gonna have to find a plan B. But Abyss is gonna go down, and it looks like this is probably gonna go in favor of the side of the good boys. As we hear Mail get popped, it's gonna be followed up with oh my god! EMP, no thank you!
Well, EMP still goes off. It's able to find at least 1, but nothing much else other than that as X10 just says hello, goodbye for 1 shot, 1 kill. And now it's going to be Rift still finding their way around. Gets the Nemesis form kill onto Salty. And now it's going to be the Kiriko left alone. And oh boy, no, that's just a little bit disrespectful. Yumitra just stood still. I mean, but Noctis is still finding kills. Noctis still is found a kill onto Astro. Meanwhile, Yumitra falls low. This is the DPS supports here, but it's not going to last long enough, and Rift takes it right back.
Okay, I'm not going to say it was intentional for Noctis not to do the little frog dance, which is, you know, just using your A&D keys and spamming between heal and speed as a Lucio player. But sometimes you think the other person's going to anticipate the strafe coming out from the Lucio like that, and so instead you just don't do it. And you just watch them miss shots, and then their brain breaks for a moment. Like, wait, why aren't they strafing?
Yeah, my brain would be melting a little bit. I'd be missing every single one of those shots if the Lucio stood still, let's be honest. 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to go on the clock. Rift is going to try to push this one right in as the robot went back to Good Boys for just a little while. Abyss is hacked, but is going to be able to get out. Biz does go down, though, and now the Sound Barrier hits everybody from Yamitra, and that means Rift is going to be able to push right on in. This spot's going to be able to push a little bit more forward. Really no contest either with Salty gone.
Go,
and
Yamitra.
it's going to be
go,
no.
go.
Yamitra bionated. Good Suzu to protect, and yup, Pascal's gone. Good support line, good save.
Oh.
But there goes Yamitra can't get out. But I mean, that's still a huge dagger for them.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking out the flex support in exchange for your main support, but yeah, your JQ would like and appreciate having a little bit of Lucio speed aura on them.
Oh.
They also get hacked. It's not terrible, but I'm appreciating the JQ mirror that we have happening now. Salty has decided to go away from the Doomfist because, I mean, you know, you want to go Doomfist into a Mei as well as the JQ. Good luck. And we're going to hear Kitsune Rush get popped, 2 go down. It's going to be Pascal and Salty. Tracer uses Pulse Bomb, doesn't find anybody, is forced to recall, run away, get the heck out of Dodge, and pray for their life.
Well, Rift, though, you take that. You only had one Kitsune Rush to use, and now you're going to come up on an Overclock, which X10, I mean, let's be real, has been hitting every single one. So, I mean, so Overclock, I mean, this is going to be really good for them if they land. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Subportal combat, Abyss.
Okay, all right, we're here for this. Abyss is able to take down Biz in the back line, making it a 45 situation. Uh-oh, Salty is stuck. And now the Overclock's going to get popped. They're going to be able to find anything, maybe a headshot here. No, finds a body shot. That was close, but is able to get back in time. So the Overclock goes for nothing, but look at the differential right now. 103 meters and counting. The difference just growing. Biz has an EMP available. See if Biz wants to use it right now. Biz does use it, catches 3, catches a lot of people inside. That's Astro, Yamitra, and X10 all caught inside. Good Boys is able to take advantage of it, and now not even having to waste any more ultimates. Crawfree's already pulled out. Astro left to go. It's 1 on each roll left for Rift, but it's not going to be for much longer as Good Boys take it back, but the differential, my oh my, is large.
Once again, forward spawns for everyone on the side of Rift. They're coming up on that Mail. They're also going to have that Rampage coming out from Astronics. Now, that being said, Pascal has Coalescence, and Salty's going to be coming up on the Rampage. We also will have the Pulse Bomb on lock again coming out for the side of the Good Boys. My only concern is Yamricha does not have beat, and if Salty is able to get their team to force out an early Suzu, this could be a massive Rampage. You use Pulse Bomb, force out Suzu, follow up Rampage. It's good, sweet, good night to anyone caught in that Rampage.
Let's see. Rampage available, like you said. Pulse Bomb also available for Thunder. 3 people falling oh so low. There's the Rampage, and it finds 3. Knocked it. Pascal, Salty, all caught it.
Oh my gosh!
Blizzard there as well.
Oh!
Astro comes up big. Time comes up big. Welcome to the team kill.
Hello,
Welcome to the
Astronics.
Thunderdome.
I love, we got a third-person perspective on Astronics, and they said hello in that very moment. But my, oh my, looking down underneath the bridge and seeing 3 people stacked inside of that Mail, it was like a delicious meal for Gracie and Carnage. That was gorgeous for Astronics. Let's see how this next fight goes, though. Yamitra has beat. We have Kitsune Rush coming out. Pascal's going to engage with that ultimate. The Coalescence is not going to find too much. We have Rampage used as well. Abyss goes down. We also see Yamitra go down. Rift, they're bleeding. They are getting eviscerated. Someone needs to cauterize the wound, but unfortunately there is no supports here to help them out.
Cauterize what wounds? They're up by 90. They're up by 90 meters. I mean.
Okay, yes, but in that fight they were bleeding all over.
Okay, there you go. Okay, I was gonna say they're up by 90 meters. I mean, it's a paper cut at most for this because for Rift, I mean, they do give up 2 ultimates. That is a Kitsune Rush and a Sound Barrier to use. Meanwhile, Good Boys does have a Sound Barrier to use, but for Good Boys, it needs to be perfect the rest of the way. It just needs to be perfect the rest of the way here. But Noctis having the Sound Barrier could very well help them out, at least in this fight. There's a wall to block them out for a couple of moments, and there's the meat. 1 and the counting was a little bit off. Sound Barrier dropped from Noctis for a little while. Biz does have the Blizzard to use. Decides not to use it just yet. Immortality Field is used for right now, but there's the shot. There's the shot you want, and there's going to be time for a limited trap. Does have the Crow Freeze available, so nobody else caught inside of it for right now. Biz still finds Yamitra, though. It's going to be kills falling here for Good Boys, but at what cost? Time and X10 still popping off. Finds both of the supports, mind you, and now X10 with a little bit of help. Salty also there. No more support line here for Good Boys in this fight. X10's able to find Biz, trades that out right away, but X10 still pops off with a minute left to go. Chime and X10 have found 3, and they flip it right back.
You're definitely right. That last fight that was not in the favor of Rift, 'twas but a flesh wound for them. However, we've swapped over to the Ramatra. I was loving the JQ mirror, but it's okay, Astronics. I understand the Ramatra's your bread and butter. It's no disrespect. I just love JQ. That being said, we're coming up on that annihilation. Chime has that mailed on lock. Pascal, another coalescence coming in line. I mean, when you're doing so much damage and you're able to weave in the healing just perfectly, you can get coalescence so quickly on Moira. Yep. It's part of the reason why I love her. It becomes basically like just another cooldown at that point, just a little bit of a longer timer. Now, as we go, the point has flipped. Side of Rift decided to stay on low ground. I'm pretty sure they anticipated seeing Pascal pop that ult early, but unfortunately for them, Pascal did not and is waiting for the prime opportunity right now, which is when everyone's in close quarters. Fade is forced out. Down goes your Mitra. Down goes X10. Chime is gone. Abyss gets axed, and that is everyone gone for the side of Rift.
But the mountain still tall to climb, 70 meters. They need to play perfect. You cannot give up even an inch. This overtime clock, if you get off the robot once, time's just gone. Time's just gone. You cannot C9 this whatsoever. 70 meters, the mountain to climb. They don't even have the checkpoint either, which makes this an even taller mountain to climb. An insurmountable amounts here for Good Boys to make it all the way back. Rift staring down match point and potentially a fight for the playoffs against Timeless. Here we go. Checkpoint is gotten. Rift is okay with giving that up for right now. They only need to win one fight here. Good Boys probably needed to win two. Oh no, but there's going to be the main trapped inside. Biz is trapped inside for right now. Wall has to drop. There's going to be the Blizzard, and now it's going to be frozen out. Biz is caught out because of the Disruptor shot, because of the Blizzard. All systems go. Astra can use the Annihilation. We'll use it right away. Sound Barrier is out. No Sound Barrier coming from Good Boys either. This could be your fight. The only ultimates are gone, and Rift is going to clean house, and Rift is going to win a series 3-1, and their climb for the playoffs continues on. They win the series 3-1 over the Good Boys, and what a win for Rift here to face off Timeless in the next round.
My goodness, that first chunk, like that first full fight that we had, to just immediately go into locking down that forward spawn and basically never losing it after a fight. Like, they'd gain it back very fast. Rift played this Esperanza map perfectly. Maybe this was the secret weapon. Maybe they intentionally weren't picking it to give teams the idea of, oh, we don't like Esperanza. We don't want to play on it. We don't have comps for it. And just to be able to turn around and be like, nah, we got it on lock. We were just making sure that you guys didn't know that this was our secret weapon. At least for now, as we go into playoffs, it's been revealed. The trap card Yugi is no longer on the table, so to speak. But Rift, they're showing signs of life. The opportunity is there to make it into the playoff series. It just comes down to how the other teams perform, and if they can keep this up. I mean, a 1-3 series, absolutely phenomenal for Rift.
Yeah, what a series here for Rift, and actually that finalizes up this match, but still plenty of other matches here that are going on right now. In fact, there were only 3 other matches that were happening while we were playing there, so let's see if we can get the scoreboard up right now. This becomes ever important. 0-3 Splash beating Saints, we knew that earlier on, so now again with 0-3 Splash beating Saints, they are now again in the driver's seat. Worldwide and Timeless are tied at 2 apiece. Keep your eye on that game. That game just got a lot more interesting because, again, if Timeless loses that and Worldwide wins, that means Timeless and because Strix also loses as well, Timeless and Rift are basically playing for a spot in the playoffs if Strix loses one more after that. So Rift and Timeless is going to be an absolute banger of a match. Both teams are going to have to play their absolute best in this next game, and which we will have for you coming up after we are done with the short break. But that round 9 match, again, if we can pull off the stream schedule right now, because I think that's on Timeless OW going on right now between Worldwide and Timeless. We're giving you live updates as we can. But oh my goodness, what a match. I can't believe Worldwide has taken that back. They do not want to be eliminated by any cost whatsoever. You can see that is live going on right now as it stands. And actually, Timeless has the point. It's 90-84. We won't cast this match because you can see the other cast on the other end. But my, oh my, what a match. You can watch that live right now on Timeless OW. But back here, we'll keep it right here as Rift and Good Boys finalizing up. Rift winning 3-1, keeping their playoff hopes alive. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, it will be the match you do not want to miss. Rift versus Timeless, a shot at the playoffs still on the line. This is the Timeless Broadcast Project. We'll be right back.